My name is Gbenga Ogunjimi, and I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and my journey in the social enterprise space started during my undergrad. My country's education system at that particular time was going through transitions, and there were a lot of structured programs for young leaders to forge a leadership path. In that state of opportunities, I would say, I was able to launch out and start my very first nonprofit. As young kids, we pretty much try to change the world the very best, way we know how to do best. We do all the programs from youth empowerment to gender to advocacy, pretty much preparing school students for the real world. Shortly after graduation, because I know I will always become an entrepreneur, I sought for mentorship. I was blessed enough to find a woman by the name of Ndidi, a very successful business leader. And she said to me, if you want to make money and you want to change the world, then you're a social entrepreneur. And that was the confirmation I was been waiting for. In 2007, I had a major breakthrough, and this was in Southeast Asia. I won my very first fellowship, which was the Global Young Social Entrepreneurs Competition. It came with a lot of blessings, from travels to mentorship to funding to technical assistance and partnership. And I created a social enterprise, which was focusing pretty much a domestic version of what LDI Africa is all about now. I went back to Nigeria. I did work with a few social enterprises and the United Nations. And in 2010, I believe it was the time to go global. I was inspired by the CNN tagline, "Go Beyond Borders," and this is when I came to America. I participated in a State Department funded program. I was after school fellowship, and in Washington DC, right after the fellowship, I asked myself, what does success mean? And success for me means that ability to recreate the opportunities I've been blessed with, I've received, and that is what motivated me to create LDI Africa, and I believe that is my story till date. LDI Africa means Landmark Development Initiative Africa, which goal is to strengthen organizations in Africa for global success. The organization operates on the core premise that ideas and talent are evenly distributed around the world, but opportunities are not. In the US, opportunity exists for Americans to serve domestically, utilizing opportunities like the America Vista Corps program, and internationally to use programs like the Peace Corps to go around the world to do good and to serve. In many African countries, there are a lot of service programs that also exist as well. The opportunity that exists was the need to increase the cultural diversity in the international service space. There was a need to create a program that is multi-dimensional, multilateral, that not just opens a flow of service from the US to the continent or the continent to the US, but it's multilateral and it's also global. And this is the program, this is the motivation or the core premise for the organization. And the way we are realizing this is through three major fellowship programs. We do have the Emerging Institutions Fellowship Program, we have the Doing Business in Africa Fellowship, and we have Doing Business in America Fellowship. The Emerging Institutions Fellowship Program, it's an international pro bono consulting program for mid-level professionals seeking experience in emerging markets. The program provides year-long fellowship opportunities at Africa's for-profit and non-profit companies. What do we look for in this program? We're looking for mid-level professionals up to 10 years of experience, as I said, interested to serve, but in a much more bigger picture, we're actually looking for people who have a long-term career goal on the continent. Our goal is to localize global talent using the program. The business fellowships that we have, the Doing Business in Africa Fellowship targets medium and small-sized businesses in the US, particularly minority businesses, be it African-American owned or Black-owned businesses, or any small, medium-sized businesses seeking opportunities to expand to the continent of Africa utilizing the fellowship program. And the Doing Business in America Fellowship is designed for local entrepreneurs on the continent of Africa seeking opportunity to expand, do business beyond borders, particularly in the United States. So this is how we are flattening the space and providing opportunities for young leaders, business and development to cross borders and to expand the prosperity of the continent of Africa. I think it's very important to create an African-led strategy that is being championed and driven by Africans themselves. The US has an African strategy, China has an African strategy, the rest of the world have their own strategies for Africa. So I think it's important and critical for African leaders also to be able to arch out his own strategy and take control of his own destiny by itself, but definitely collaborating with the rest of the world in the execution of it. Well, the African diaspora occupy a very unique position, being the interface with the host communities and the countries in which they come from. And that gives them the enormous intellectual capital and opportunity to leverage resources in both environment, ultimately for the development of the African continent. We see a very positive trend, the rate in which African diaspora are now engaging and returning to the continent in record numbers. According to the Jacana partners, recently provided a study that showed that 70% of MBA graduates are returning from Western universities back to Africa, either to start businesses or to join existing businesses on the continent. So I think most definitely this positive trajectory should be encouraged to continue. So what we have seen is the mastery of wealth creation, of business, of international development and local development on the continent. What I think is necessary now is the innovation, the business and the social innovation that we see happen led by diaspora to connect with the government. So we cannot just trust the governance of the continent. We have to be engaged and participate in it. So civic engagement is critical, and young people also should start thinking actively in being engaged in public office and also developing programs and innovations and technology that open up government, make it more transparent, and also provide the needed intellectual capital for public service servant leaders to continue to transform the continent in the positive trend that we see going on right now. We're approaching our third year right now, and over the last 3 years, we've concentrated efforts in validating the model and proving the sustainability of all our programs. Over the next 2 years, the goal is to consolidate these programs, increase in size, increase in numbers. Right now, we average 10 fellows per cohort. What we want to do is double the numbers in each of the fellowship programs. That will make it from 60 to 120 fellows that will be able to engage a year moving forward by the 5th year. Doing that, what we also want to see is to position the program as a technical assistance resource for major international development and government initiatives on the continent. We are also working towards having an investment fund so LDI can directly invest in its entrepreneurs fellow and support them with technical assistance through the various fellowship programs that we have. By the 10th year, even closer before that, is to expand the program to have a public service component such that we can also help to contribute in shaping the next generation of public service leaders on the continent. It is still going to be the same multilateral approach. They can get best practices from much more advanced democracies in the world, and they can take that expertise back to various African governments and also have a domestic program as well, but definitely the one that connects market innovation, social innovation to the government, where talent and resources intersect for the prosperity of the continent. That is our goal over the next 10 years. Hey guys, my name is Gbenga Ogunjimi from LDI Africa. I encourage everyone to check out our website and apply for the Emerging Institutions Fellowship Program. The deadline is May 31st, 2015. We are currently receiving applications from around the world. You do not have to be an African or have an African nationality to apply. Everyone is encouraged to apply for this program. If you do have a minimum of a bachelor's degree, you're seeking to work and do business and experience living and working and serving in Africa's for-profit or non-profit organization. The program provides some benefits. We provide relocation assistance, medical insurance, visas, housing, transportation, and compensation as well. So we encourage everyone to get the word out, to apply, tell people that you know about this fantastic opportunity. We're seeking applications from around the world. You can find more information about the program on our website, LDIAfrica.org. You can also find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at LDI Africa. Thank you.